Hey guys, this is Andy from Noctie, and today we're gonna go through the weekly scenario for week 16 of 2025. Before we start playing against Noctie, let's first take a look at the position and discuss the general ideas. So let's take a look. This week we have this position, a completely fictional position, since it can never occur in a real game. However, it's still very instructive to play it out and learn pawn endgames. I remember when I was a kid, I used to play this all the time in between games at chess tournaments. We used to play with equal material, so technically it would be dead draw. But somehow I ended up getting crushed over and over again against the stronger kids. And that's because my understanding of pawn endgames wasn't as deep as theirs. Today we have a softer version. White is a pawn up, so technically this is a clear win for white, but still you have to know the essential ideas and fundamentals of pawn endgames. Some critical rules of thumb in pawn endgames. First of all, material is often the most important, because with no other pieces around, the one who has more pawns is often winning. And secondly is of course the king's activity. And this applies to other endgames as well, but especially in pawn endgames. There's no other pieces around, so the king now has to be an attacking piece. And thirdly, it's both the existence and the quality of passed pawns. The goal in pawn endgames is of course to be able to promote your pawn and get a queen, and do so much faster than your opponent. So to do that you need to have a passed pawn. The quality of the passed pawn is very important. So that means how far it has reached down the board, and also how far away from the opponent's king your pawn is. So in this position we have an extra d pawn. So usually we want to play on the side where you have an extra pawn. So here that would be the queen side. I'll start by playing d4, and then I'm going to march up our king and start pushing the other pawns with the goal to create a passed pawn. And while doing this I have to be careful and watch out so that Noctie doesn't get her own passed pawn. So let's play this against Noctie. I'm going to start with d4 and then try to create a passed pawn as soon as possible. And then march up with the king to support our pawns. And remember, in pawn endgames, the king is an attacking piece. And here I'm going to play h4 to stop black from grabbing too much space. And what now? Now I think I'm going to go with e4 to disturb black's f pawn and see if I can force some weakness. But black ignores that. What can we do here? I think just play f3. So now I can free up my king to go somewhere. Okay, Noctie goes king f6. So now we have to see if she can infiltrate somehow. But I don't think so, because if I'll just leave my pawns on the king side, then the g5 square and the e5 square are occupied. If black trades the f pawns, it won't change anything. So I can just go king c4. Okay, trade. Interesting. So Noctie goes for g5. And here I think I have to be a bit careful. Or do I? I have some ideas here. So immediately we have to start calculating concrete lines, because I want to takes back. Or rather, I'm going to throw in an intermediate move. Check, king f5. I take, Noctie takes. So now Noctie's king is here and it's my move. Now I want to play d5. And if Noctie doesn't react, then I'll play d6. And that will be devastating. So after d5, then Noctie has to take, and we take with our king. And then I think our e-pawn is going to be very, very dangerous. So I'm going to go with that and see how it turns out. Let's hope for the best. So I'm going to start with the check. And then Noctie goes there. Now I take the pawn. Noctie takes back. And now my idea was to play d5. Because Noctie's plan with the g5 push was to infiltrate my king side. If she goes for king g4, king g3, then my d pawn is going to be quicker. And Noctie cannot really allow me to play d6, because then we get a really dangerous passed pawn. So I'm gonna play this move. I think Noctie is forced to capture. Oh, interesting. I had missed that move actually. But wait, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Because we can still play d6. And Noctie cannot really take my e-pawn because then we'll get a new queen. Or not like that, but yeah. So I'm gonna go with d6. Noctie has to trade and we can take back. So now we have a passed pawn. As we discussed earlier, we want to create passed pawns and we want to look at the quality of that passed pawn. It's far up the board and now I just have to be careful not to lose it. So I'm going to stay with my king because Noctie cannot really grab my passed pawn, because if she decides to go this way, then it's too slow. I'm in time to defend it. And if Noctie goes e5 with the idea to play king e6, then after e5 I'm going to go king d5 immediately. So here I'm just going to go and grab some more space on the queen side and hopefully create another passed pawn. Okay, so now I'm going to go here and just plant my king on e5. Okay. So what happens here? What happens if I go there? Yeah, I think I can just go there and threaten the b pawn and knock this e pawn is too far away. So yeah, we're gonna take the b pawn. Why not? Okay. So now Noctie tries some desperate thing, maybe a trap, because if I take, the idea is to run with this pawn, but yeah, I can take it. I'm in time to stop it. So I just play it very safe, and go here, and now I have too many pawns. I'll just grab the e pawn to eliminate any chance for Noctie to trick me, and now we have a easily winning position. So I'm just gonna go forwards and get myself a new queen. But as you saw, quite quickly it became very concrete and we had to pause for a moment to calculate these lines. And here we just don't want to screw up with any stalemate. Here I think it's fine because we have so many options. We can go here, and now we go up and grab ourselves a new queen. And just to make sure there's no stalemate, no there's not, and here we have a new queen. It's a bit tricky. Okay, I'm gonna give a check. And this is a classic stalemate mistake when the queen is like a knight's jump away from the king and the king is in the corner. If I move any other piece, then it's stalemate. So if you're tempted to go with the king to checkmate, black has no moves. So I'm just gonna go here. And now we have checkmate in the next move. Alright, nice. So we managed to do this, but there were several critical moments, as you saw, where we have to pause and calculate. And it's a really good exercise to both train your calculation skills and of course your pawn and game skills. So both of them are going to be vital for your improvement in chess. Alright, so that was all for today. And as we discussed earlier, mastering endgames is vital for your improvement in chess. And in endgames, I would say the pawn endgames are the most fundamental because they requires concrete calculation and knowing specific ideas. If you feel unsure about pawn endgames, make sure to check out our lesson on the fundamentals, where we go through vital concepts like opposition and how to both attack and defend with only one pawn left. I hope you had fun playing this position, because I certainly had. You can find all the old weekly scenarios under themes in Noctie. So that wraps it up for today. And for those who celebrate, happy Easter. And as always, thank you for watching and happy playing. Bye bye.